prayer. So let's close our eyes, and you can mute and you can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Salutations to the divine in all beings. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guru is the creator, Guru is the preserver, Guru is the transformer, Guru is the absolute Lord himself. Salutations to the Sri Guru, the most auspicious, who removes the ignorance of samsara. Narayana Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Narayana Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Beginning with Narayana through Adi Shankaracharya in between and up to my own preceptor, I bow with reverence to the entire tradition of preceptors. Beginning with Sadashiva through Adi Shankaracharya in between and up to my own preceptor, I bow with reverence to the entire tradition of preceptors. Om Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti Puja Moolam Gurur Padam Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. The root of meditation is the form of the Guru. The root of worship is the feet of the Guru. The root of mantra is the word of the Guru. The root of liberation is the grace of the Guru. Shri Guru is the root of salvation. Om Bhuvasvaha Tat Savidurvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om, the one pervading all three spaces, earth, space, and beyond. I meditate upon the divine light, the one who is source of light to the sun, and may that light awaken my intellect. Very good. We will move to the next part, which is we will do slow, deep breathing. Krishna ji, so I will just explain it once, and then you can do it at your own comfort. So,
okay.
Yeah, so we start with in the sitting posture, in a comfortable sitting posture with back correct, eyes closed, and then breathe in slowly and deeply and completely until the belly is fully blown like a balloon. Hold for 2 seconds, and then again slowly breathe out slowly, smoothly, until the belly goes completely in. And this slow, deep breathing basically rests the mind. And by the end of this breathing session, you uh, will feel very rested, and the thoughts would have come down. Even during this breathing session, if you have any thoughts, just observe and let them go. Focus on the breathing. Right? And so this basically helps us to prepare to receive the teaching. Because if the mind is not ready, we will not be able to receive the teaching fully. Right? So to prepare the mind, we start with the deep breathing, which slows down the thoughts, and then like the mind is ready, and then we will go into the session. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of you, um, sit comfortably, your back erect, close your eyes, and breathe in slowly, fully, completely, until your belly is fully out. Hold for 2 seconds, and then breathe out. You can slowly come back to the normal breathing. Keep your eyes closed. Now with the mind rested, it's like a clean slate. Let's write a positive message about ourselves. And let's send the message to everyone as well. I am a very happy, healthy, peaceful, kind, energetic, inspiring being at all times. And let's wish for the immediate family, husband, wife, children. Let's wish them also for a happy, healthy, peaceful life. Let's also wish our teachers and the Atma Jyotis here for a happy, healthy, and peaceful life. Let's wish our relatives, friends, with whom we spend most of the time, a happy, healthy, peaceful life. Let's also wish our colleagues with whom we work for a happy, healthy, peaceful life. Let's wish our neighbors in the street, in the community, for a happy, healthy, peaceful life. Let's wish all the support staff, those who clean the streets, those who pick garbage, those who deliver couriers, those who drive taxis, sell vegetables. They are like very deeply connected to our living. Let's wish them also a happy, healthy, peaceful life. Let's wish all those people whom we don't know or may not know, but are living around us with us, the same city or state and country or other countries. Let's wish them also happy, healthy, peaceful life. Let's also wish plants, trees, animals for a happy, healthy, peaceful life. And let's wish everyone, every being in this world a happy, healthy, peaceful life. And with that, let's also forgive if anyone has caused any trouble to us, mentally or physically. They might have done due to ignorance. And let's wish them as well. And hopefully they will realize and they will be good for all. And also let's seek forgiveness if we have caused any harm to anyone, knowingly or unknowingly. And live consciously and ensure we are able to help everyone around us. With that, you can rub your hands and take your palm to the eyes. Give warmth to the eyes and Open your eyes by looking at the palm. You want to blink your eyes a couple of times. Very good. Shubhaji, Vijayji, should we move to the next session?
Yeah, we also have Ravi ji has joined. Hari
Yes. Hari Om, Raviji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Is Nishaji with you?
Today she's not there. She couldn't join us.
Okay.
So, Shubhaji, I will share the slide.
Before that, Sanskrit by our Vijayji.
Oh,
Sanskrit lesson.
We'll continue. So maybe this can be the last one, and later, if necessary, we will continue.
Okay, sure.
But that was an interesting session, sir. We were all learning.
Sure. So, see, why do we chant in Sanskrit, or why Bhagavad Gita itself and all our Upanishads have been written in Sanskrit? So, apart from the fact that Samskrita is the mother of all the Indian languages, it has many other benefits. And that is what we've been exploring over the last couple of sessions. So the word Samskrita itself means, Samskrutam means it is well-refined language. It's been designed by keeping in mind the human anatomy and the human psychology. It's also called as a Deva Bhasha. The word Deva, you would have heard Deva, Devate. So the word Deva means it is an embodiment of light. So Deva Bhasha means it's a light, it's a language of the light. What does it mean? It simply means that it is from a, for that matter, what is the source of any language may be very, very difficult to trace in terms of a human history. But in terms of how well refined Samskrita is, it is the origin is very divine. And why do we say so, or how do we say so? What Samskrita does is, it brings about an inner transformation at a physical and a psychological level. So again, as you start applying this, you will start seeing this. So we have done a couple of experiments. One experiment that we did was, we looked at these particular sounds, A, E, Ru, Ru, and U. And as we closed our eyes and as we were chanting, we wanted to notice, or we had to notice where we feel the vibrations in our head. And again, I'm just quickly summarizing for the benefit of Krishna also. So you can also do this experiment later, Krishnaji. So you will notice the vibrations moving from the bottom to the front as you go along through these sounds. So it simply to indicate that Sanskrit sounds have been designed keeping in mind various human physiological aspects. So there's a vibration. When two vibrations are similar, there is reverberation that happens. So when reverberation happens, necessary transformation happens. And we also saw how the Sanskrit alphabets, which is also kind of like how most of the Indian language alphabets are. By the way, yesterday I was watching a Bhutanese movie. Even in the Bhutan, the alphabets are similar. They have the Kaka Gagana, Cha Cha Jajana. So I was amazed, looks like there's a far-fetched impact of the Sanskrita. So how Sanskrit Vyanjanas, the consonants have been arranged. So from Kaka Gagana, Cha Cha Jajanya. So if you look at it, from where they are produced in the mouth, there is a very clear progression from the back of the, what you call as a pit of the throat, as you come very to the very end, which is pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. So your lips are touching each other. So there is a very clear progression in how these groups of sounds are made. So to indicate how Sanskrit has been designed, keeping in mind the human mouth anatomy. Then we also learned how in Sanskrit meaning is preserved even when the order of the words are modified. We took an example, like in English, if we have Rama ate banana, if you change the order, banana ate Rama, the meaning itself changes, whereas that is not the case in Sanskrit and most of the Indian languages. Aham uttaram likhami. Likhami aham uttaram. I am writing the answer. So irrespective of how you interchange these order of the words, the meaning remains the same. So
Sanskrit, you first read the complete sentence and then you make up, you interpret, and not word by word.
Each word also has a significant meaning, of course.
Yeah, word has meaning, but you make the meaning of the whole sentence, you get it after reading the whole line.
Yeah. So what it means is each word, because each word has a tense, that is the time part to it, and also its relationship to the others, so the prefix and the suffix part, because of the way the prefix and the suffix has been designed in Sanskrit, the meaning is still preserved irrespective of where it is placed in the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So the overall meaning is still preserved.
Mm-hmm.
Then we looked at word generation power of Sanskrit. In Samskrita, using the prefix and the suffix, using root word, you can generate any number of words. So today, in fact, we'll be seeing, okay, let me ask you, now that we are here, which is the longest word in the world? Do you know from which language there is the longest word? So then let's look at that today.
दोस्तों पूरे विश्व में जो ऑफिशियल तौर पर सबसे लंबा शब्द है वो ना तो इंग्लिश का है, ना हिंदी का है, ना स्पेनिश का है और ना ही चाइनीज मैंड्रिन का है। लिखित रूप से सबसे लंबा शब्द संस्कृत भाषा में मिलता है और इस रिकॉर्ड के लिए संस्कृत भाषा को 2017 में गिनीज वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड भी मिल चुका है। हिंदी का सबसे लंबा शब्द है लौह पथगामिनी सूचक दर्शक हरित ताम्र लौह पट्टिका, जिसमें स्वर और व्यंजन को मिलाकर टोटल 34 कैरेक्टर्स होते हैं और इस शब्द का अर्थ होता है तांबे और लोहे से बने हरे रंग का रेलवे चेतावनी साइन बोर्ड। वहीं इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज का सबसे लंबा शब्द है फ्लॉक्सी नॉसी नीली पीलीफिकेशन, जिसमें 29 कैरेक्टर्स आते हैं और इसका अर्थ होता है किसी भी चीज को बेकार समझने की आदत या फिर क्रिया। अब संस्कृत में मिलने वाले सबसे लंबे शब्द में आते हैं 195 कैरेक्टर्स और ये शुरू होता है निरंतर अंधिकारित दिगंतर से और समाप्त होता है पिपासायास पथिक लोकान पर। इस शब्द को एक बार में पढ़ पाने की हिम्मत तो मेरी नहीं है, पर तोड़ कर आप उसको इस प्रकार से पढ़ सकते हैं। ये शब्द लिखित रूप से विजयनगर साम्राज्य की रानी तिरुमालंबा के प्रेम उपन्यास वरदाम्बिका परिणय में देखने को मिलता है, जिसको उन्होंने 16वीं शताब्दी में लिखा।
Okay, so now this is the longest word, and he said, I dare not say this. So thankfully I found
दोस्तों पूरे विश्व में जो ऑफिशियल तौर पर सबसे लंबा
another video. So now you can listen to that word.
शृणुमश्च निरन्तरान्धकारित दिगन्तर कन्दलद मन्द सुधारस बिन्दु सान्द्रतर घनाघन वृन्द सन्देहकर स्यन्दमान मकरन्द बिन्दु बन्धुरतर माकन्द तरुकुल तल्प कल्प मृदुल सिकता जाल जटिल मूल तल मरुव कमिलद लघु लघु लय कलित रमणीय पानीय शालिका बालिका करारविन्द गलन्तिका गलदेला लवंग पाटल घन सार कस्तूरिकाति सौरभ मेधुर लघुतर मधुर शीतलतर सलिल धारा निराकरिष्णु तदीय विमल विलोचन मयूख रेखा पसारित पिपासायास पथिक लोकान.
So like that, this is the beauty of the language. So if I may take you through one another very interesting video. what gives this power? Yeah. So
What if I told you?
by the way, you can also subscribe to this channel, Sanskrit channel. This person, Uday, an excellent expert in Sanskrit, and he speaks about various aspects of Sanskrit and various aspects of spirituality also picked from various Sanskrit texts. So this one, let's understand how the organization of Sanskrit word structure and the alphabet structure is.
Sanskrit grammar is the easiest to understand. You might laugh it off, but it's true. It has only 2 types of words with 3 changes each. You might already know that Sanskrit language has hundreds of root sounds, thousands of grammatical rules, and millions of possible words. On top of it, they all seem to be arranged into dreadful looking tables, the stuff of nightmares for any Sanskrit student. But what if I told you that all of this has an extremely simple and an elegant source of origin and can be understood within the next few minutes? The Sanskrit channel is an effort to explore a vast variety of topics from original Sanskrit literature. If you wish to support this effort, consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon or make a one-time contribution through these options. Your support will help us improve the quality, length, and number of topics covered in our videos. Do check out all the links in the description below. Any Sanskrit word can be seen as a combination of 3 parts. There is a root sound or the dhatu, which holds the essence or meaning of the word. There is a prefix called upasarga, which modifies the meaning of the root sound. And there is a suffix or pratyaya, which adds more context as to how the root sound should be used. Based on what kind of suffix is used, all Sanskrit words can be divided into 2 groups: all name-related words and all action-related words. For example, ram is a root sound which denotes pleasure or enjoyment. We can add suffixes to this root sound ram to make it sound like Ramaha, Ramanaha, Rama or Ramyam, which are all name-related words. Or we can add different suffixes to the same root sound ram and form words like Ramanti, Ramatam or Ramasva, which are all action-related words. Now, how do we decide what kind of a suffix to add? Simple. For name-related words, suffixes are decided by the gender of the name, linga, number of such names, vachana, and the context in which the name is used, vibhakti. For action-related words, it is the time context in which the action is performed, lakara, number of people who performed the action, vachana, and the person who performed the action, purusha. This is it. What you are looking at is the entire Sanskrit grammar in a nutshell. Let us now go one level deeper into the number of these possible suffixes. Among the suffixes for name-related words, the gender or linga is of 3 kinds. There is masculine or punlinga, feminine or strilinga, and neuter or napunsakalinga. Vachana or number is of 3 kinds too. There is singular, ekavachana, dual, dvivachana, and plural or bahuvachana. Vibhakti or name context is usually of 7 kinds. Among the suffixes for action-related words, the time context or lakara is of 10 kinds, the vachana is again of 3 kinds, and the purusha, which denotes who did the action, is of 3 kinds: first person or uttama purusha, second person or madhyama purusha, and third person or prathama purusha. If you look at it closely, this is the origin of all the tables that you see in Sanskrit grammar. You take the root sound ram and fix its gender as Ramaha, the one who causes pleasantness. The other 2 parameters can be listed out with the number or vachana in rows and the context or vibhakti in columns. If you fix the gender as Rama, you get a different kind of table. If you fix the gender as Ramyam, you would get yet another kind of table. If we don't fix the gender of the root word like this and wish to explore all possible forms of the root sound ram in a name-related context, they would form a 3-dimensional matrix with the gender or linga as the length, number or vachana as the breadth, and the context or vibhakti as the depth. To make it simpler to write on paper, we fix one of the parameters, usually the gender for names and time context for actions, and draw two-dimensional tables which are 7x3 for name-related words and 3x3 for action-related words. Now, if the same root sound ram is used as an action-related word, we fix the time context of the word as ramayati to cause pleasantness. The other two parameters can be listed out with the number or vachana in rows and the person or purusha in columns. This is the background behind how the 7x3 and the 3x3 tables are constructed in Sanskrit grammar. Unfortunately, the current Sanskrit curriculum does not present this flow of thought to the students before expecting them to memorize these tables. Even if this background is presented, this is not the right topic to choose to begin learning a language. Anyways, I hope this video helped bring some clarity and understanding as to how systematic the organization of Sanskrit grammar is. As I said in the beginning, Sanskrit is the easiest, most intuitive and fun language to learn and relish if only presented in the right way. If you wish to support the production of more videos like these, consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon or make a one-time contribution through these options. Your support will help us improve the quality, length and number of topics covered in our videos. Also, consider subscribing to the Sanskrit channel where we explore hidden gems in the vast world of diverse Sanskrit literature. See you in the next video. Namaskaram.
So,
Nice.
like we keep talking now, you will understand Sanskrit very easily because your language, any of the Indian language, is already based on that, or has a very close association. So therefore, it's very, very intuitive. So in fact, there are so many aspects, and our focus here is not to explore Sanskrit. Our focus here is to use Sanskrit to function, to understand Bhagavad Gita. And none of us here are Sanskrit experts, but there is a great affiliation to the language, which helps us to go into the inner meaning. Yeah, because it's a language of the vibrations, and when you are with that vibration, it naturally opens up inner meaning. It reveals the meaning. So therefore, it's important to know few of the powers of Sanskrit. What you're seeing is only kind of a surface level treatment, very, very surface level treatment. But if you get interested and if you want to learn more, there are many, many sources available. You can let me know, and we can connect further. Within Light of the Self also, there's a Sanskrit circle where right from simple speaking to few advanced level, Sanskrita is also taught. So if anybody is interested, you can enroll into that also. All right. So any questions on whatever has been presented so far? So today, essentially what we learned is, the language word, like we saw last class, in Sanskrita, you can make up any kind of a word when you know the root words. And today you saw the system of organization. So to even indicate a very precise, small aspect of any phenomena, you can make up your own words. That is how you saw today. There is a long word, 195 characters. Yeah, so like that. And today we also saw how this whole thing is organized. All right.
Hari Om Vijayji.
Hari Om Shukla. Hari Om.
Hari Om Saran. Hari Om.
Yeah, it looks interesting actually. The construction of word itself.
Yeah. In our next session, we will explore two other topics, and with that we can end our Sanskrit exploration. And one is, what is called as Maheshwara Sutras, which is said to be the origin of the sounds of Sanskrita letters. Okay, so the one who organized the way we are today learning is Panini, but the origin, how Panini initially heard these sounds. So there is a wonderful Maheshwara Sutra, which is very mystical also, very nice. And we will also explore, for those of you who have a technology background, there is some aspect of how Sanskrit would be a very reliable language for machine learning. Yeah, so we will explore these two topics.
Really?
All right, back to you, Shivaji and Sarvanji.
Okay. So, any questions, comments before we move? Anyone? Just what I'm going to share. Yeah, this is the last shloka we did. Again, any questions or comments from the last shloka? We looked into the connection between Upanishads and Gita and how we got it. So,
Sorry for interruption, Sarvanji. For Krishnaji's benefit, so before we start studying Bhagavad Gita, there are 9 Dhyana Shlokas, which kind of are contemplation on Bhagavad Gita itself. So it kind of like introduces at a high level what is Bhagavad Gita. So there are 9 such Dhyana Shlokas. We have so far learned 4 of them, and today we are going to learn the 5th.
Okay.
yeah. So, Shubhaji, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, this is the 5th Dhyana Shloka. Today we will be contemplating on this. If anybody wants to repeat after me, you can repeat after me. Anybody want to volunteer?
I'll chant.
Okay, Padmaji. Vasudeva sutam devam
Vasudeva sutam devam
kamsachanuramardanam
kamsachanuramardanam
devaki paramanandam
devaki paramanandam
krishnam vande jagadgurum.
Krishnam vande jagadgurum.
We will repeat one more time. Vasudeva sutam devam
Vasudeva sutam devam
kamsachanuramardanam
kamsachanuramardanam
devaki paramanandam
devaki paramanandam
krishnam vande jagadgurum.
Krishnam vande jagadgurum.
Thank you, Padmaji.
Shubhaji,
Yeah.
we can introduce 2 other things also. So what you did is now, each line we split and we chanted. So now you can say the whole line, the whole first line, and it can be repeated. Then the whole second line that can be repeated. Then the whole shloka, and then the whole shloka can be repeated. So it kind of part by part, line by line, and the whole.
Yeah. Padmaji, we will do the whole thing. Vasudeva sutam devam kamsachanuramardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadgurum.
Vasudeva sutam devam kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
Thank you, Padmaji. I salute Lord Krishna, son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura, the bestower of supreme delight of Mother Devaki, the teacher of the world. So let's listen in about each of us can say what do we think about this shloka. How do we interpret this shloka? Anybody wants to go in first? Yeah. Okay, I'll go first then. So the literal meaning of the shloka is, I salute Lord Krishna, son of Vasudeva. Krishna is the son of Vasudeva, and who gave immense happiness to Devaki, Mother Devaki, because Krishna was the only child who survived after so many kids. So Mother Devaki was elated that she was in supreme delight when Krishna was born. And here he says Krishna is the destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura, the Rakshasas who were responsible for all the bad or adharma happening around that place. So, and here it also says Krishna is the supreme teacher. So this is the basic meaning of this shloka. But when we look deep, the shloka says, I salute Lord Krishna, son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura, the bestower of supreme delight to Mother Devaki, the teacher, the Jagat Guru Krishna. So when we look at our own lives, if we have to apply this shloka in our life, if we look at Chanura and Kamsa, they are nothing but all our ill thoughts, the jealousy, the ill feelings we have towards others, the greed, the desires, all those things are the Chanura and Kamsa inside us. How do we do Mardana, or how do we destroy such desires in ourselves? That is what is said in the shloka. When we destroy Kamsa and Chanura in our heart, that is when that will happen only when we think of Krishna. And when we think of Krishna, we get the supreme delight, just the way Mother Devaki got the supreme delight thinking about Krishna. So when we talk about teacher in Krishna, he is the supreme teacher also here when we say, because he is the one who gave us the Bhagavad Gita. That is the meaning, inner meaning of the shloka. Sir, if you can add to this.
Yeah, so let's also see if Raviji, do you have any particular viewpoint? Anything that you would like to share?
May not be now, but yeah, I would want to hear more then.
Okay. Are there any particular questions you have at this point of time?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. How about Rajshekhar, sir? Are you able to hear us, Rajshekhar, sir? Okay, so we'll
Yes,
come
sir.
on. Yeah. Do you have anything to share?
No, sir.
All right. How about Krishna ji?
No, not right now. So,
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Meenakshi,
Charanji?
Yeah, I'll come.
नो सर, मुझे भी कुछ ऐसा ही लग रहा है, मैडम ने जो बताया वैसा ही
बहुत easy लग रहा है.
हाँ.
Like very line by line. Yeah, but I want to introduce the interpretation our Guruji does. Okay, so for almost every festival, he introduces this, that all these slokas festivals, they are like at a high level, while they convey something, but like you can look at it in 3 different levels and get a lot more, which is basically Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Adhyatmika. Okay, so if you take this sloka from a Adi Bhautika point of view, and it's about history, right? That the whole thing did happen. We can clearly see that, hey, Mahabharata, all these things happened. Krishna was born, and Krishna grew, and like what Krishna did, all those things, right? So this is from a historical point of view, Adi Bhautika. Right? And then Adi Devika is like introducing the Devas, like we pray Krishna, right? So why do we pray Krishna? What is the connection? Right? You can derive from this, right? What Krishna did. And then Adhyatmika is where the deep spiritual meaning, actual message that is being given, which usually one does not go through. If one like only when through these satsangs, right, you get into the deep meaning. Otherwise, you know about, in general, people say that, yeah, I know that there was epic and all these Mahabharatas, Ramayanas happened, or like we pray gods, right? That is at 2 levels. But the third deep level is where what Shubhaji talked, and also today, like the way Vijayji was introducing, it's a birth of Krishna, talking about Krishna born to Devaki, Vasudeva, and like we have our own Krishna in this group today. I don't know if it's a coincidence or Krishna is born in our group as well today, right? So why Krishna? What is the deeper meaning of this Krishna's birth? Right. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that whenever the adharma goes up, right? Yada yada idharmasya. So in that shloka, it says like whenever people are suffering due to adharma, I will be born. Okay, and so that is one meaning of like why Krishna's birth came into picture, right? And why was he born? Basically to kill these rakshasas who were like spreading adharma. What Shubhaji was saying, right? And same way, like in each of us, all these there is always this good and bad thoughts going on, right? And this bad thoughts is what like leads one to adharma, and we are always fighting that, right? And in the case of in this in Mahabharata, where like Krishna helps set the dharma, and how do we live the dharmic life, right? So that is basically, we need that Krishna with us. How do we get that Krishna, right? And the way we do is by getting the teachings of Krishna and like having in us and guide our intellect, right? Because every action is finally driven by the intellect. We think, and based on what we know is good or bad, we do. And if we can have Krishna in us through his teachings, right, then we will be able to clear these adharma and like basically have a very dharmic life, right? So, and a dharmic life basically leads to the peace, and also leads to liberation from what? From the wrong understanding of who we are, which is what leads to suffering, right? Suffering is we like everyone that goes through this body suffering, I'm limited to this body, my body has this problem, that problem, or like the world is treating me like this, like that, all these things, right? All these sufferings is because of the wrong idea, right? So by having Krishna in us, we will be able to get the right knowledge, and which will lead us to liberation from this suffering, and finally take us to the infinite bliss, right? Which is what we seek all the time, that through all our actions, that any action we do, we want to be happy with that, right? We want happiness, we seek happiness, and we go and do all the actions, right? So that's that deeper thoughts or contemplation I was going through when I was looking at this shloka. I'll stop here.
Wonderful, Saravanji. Padmaji, do you
And I've
want
always noticed this. You can take one sloka, you can get the full teaching, or you can go. I think you can talk for how many hours. Okay, it's like each one word also you can take and you can keep going. I noticed that like they are like very, very deep. Though it looks like 2 lines, but it's like about the person who is reading, right? And how you want to connect and contemplate. There is no boundary.
Excellent. Padmaji, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, something similar to what Shubhaji said. I also feel that, most of us, at least after we come into the spiritual path, we know that there are all these kamsa, chanura and all within us. We know that, we are aware of that. We start becoming aware of that. But then how do we get rid of it, or how to remove it? That is, I think, one big question that we have. So definitely, I think in that, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita is very, very helpful, because it is not only like it's applicable, like it's universal knowledge, right? It has been from so many years before this teaching has been given, and it is relevant even today, and it will be relevant even in the future. So
Yeah.
I think that is this is one of the best teaching to give us clarity of how to overcome all these things, and then progress well in life, and walk in the way of dharma. So yeah, that's all, sir.
Yeah. Even that word Jagadguru, I didn't touch, but yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
it is not meant for one particular sect, or like the teachings are so very universal. It can be applied to anyone, anytime, any place.
And it is not religious as well.
It's not
So
religious.
yeah, so anyone who wants to get some clarity can come to this scripture and get whatever they want. It is very easy. And also I feel that not only it's also not for, there is one misconception that after a certain age, or after you do this in life, you start to apply this, or even come to read this knowledge. But I think that is also not true. It is applicable to as small as 4-year-old, 3-year-old. As soon as they can utter some words, I think this becomes relevant. And the earlier that we inculcate all this into us, the better it is for us.
Yeah.
That's all.
Wonderful, Padmaji. Rupaji, is there anything that you would like to add?
No, Vijayji. All
All right.
others have told what I have in mind.
So, like Saravanji said, you can pick one shloka and you can give, you can go deep. See, just to reiterate what Saravanji said, any of these shlokas, for that matter, the Indian spiritual knowledge system, it's been designed keeping in mind how human mind works. See, for example, all of us know the story of Krishna's birth. Where was Krishna born? He was born in a jail. Who were his parents? Vasudeva and Devaki. Who imprisoned them there? Kamsa. So we all know the story. and we listen to the story. And we also listen to the, the magical part of the story. On the day when Krishna was born, all the jail people were standing there, and suddenly they fell asleep, and the jail doors opened, and Vasudeva was carrying him in the basket, and he had to walk on the river. River also gave way, and there was a Vasuki, the snake, which was shielding the basket, and he carried it safely to Nanda Gokula. So we know this story, and it's a magical, mystical. It's wonderful. As a little child, when you hear, it opens up imagination. It opens up a wonderful world of wow. But as you start becoming a teenager, hey, how can this be true? I've never seen some jail door suddenly open magically, let alone jail door. How come a seven-headed snake can come? I have never seen such a thing. And how can river give way? No, this is all made up. So some people go into labeling all this as mythology. So you've heard this word, mythology. Myth. So what is mythology? It's a myth. It's a lie. Okay. Is one way that, as you start becoming more and more adult, you start thinking about it. So this is where the three levels of understanding our scriptural truths has to be understood. See, there are different kinds of scriptures that are there in India. There are what are called as Puranas. In the Puranas, Shiva Purana, there is Bhagavatam. All these come in the category of Puranas. In the Puranas, you listen to various stories, and the stories are full of all these kinds of mysticism, magical events. So when you listen to it, at the first glance, it seems like a very well imagined story. And if you're a child, wow. And as an adult, maybe not, right? So therefore, the three ways of understanding, especially Mahabharata, one is at a physical level, which is what Saranji said, Adi Bhautika. At a physical level means what? History. What is your name? What is your father's name? Where were you born? Where did your father start his work? From which village his ancestors came? Like that, as you start speaking, you can say this is what happened, this is what happened, right? You start talking about it because you have a history, which is called as itihasa. It happened thus, itihasa. So there's an itihasa aspect to Mahabharata. It happened thus. There are so many archaeological and other astronomical observatory data that is available to prove you that these events happened. There indeed was a great war that happened near a place called Kurukshetra, and today's Delhi was the Indraprastha of Yudhishthira. So today's Kandhar is where Gandhara kingdom was. The Dhritarashtra's wife, Gandhari, she is from today's Kandahar, Afghanistan. Like that, all these places are there. So it happened thus, itihasa. That is the aspect. Then there is a Adi Daivika, a metaphysical aspect to it, which is slightly, it may sound like a mystical, but very simple. See, when you look at it, do you know, has anybody seen air? No, nobody has seen air. But do you know air exists? Yeah, of course. How do you know? Your own inner experience. So, if physically it is not visible, but through your own simple application of mind and your own inner experience, you can see that metaphysically it is there. And then, you can, to bring it into somebody's understanding, you can call it as, oh, I am not able to see, but without that, I cannot function. I have to be grateful to it, isn't it? So I will create a form, Vayu Devata. That Shakti, the air, I have made it into a symbol called Vayu Devata, and I offer my respects. I may not be able to see it through my eyes, but I can feel the presence. And isn't it really important that I offer my respects? Because without the Vayu Devata's blessings, how can this body function? How can this entire system function? So, like that, in India, you see various devatas. What are devatas? Different divine and celestial forces. There is air, there is water, there is light. Like that, even the power of seeing. You may have physical eyes, but without the power to see, some people have the eye, but the power to see is not there. So there is Chakshu Devata, the divine power of the seeing. So like that, it's a way by which you recognize how in this existence different things works. So this is metaphysical. The rough translation of Adi Daivika is metaphysical. Then Adhyatmika, how it applies when I see it from my own inner viewpoint, so-called spiritual, is inner truth. So, Krishna's birth, when you see it from the inner truth standpoint, who was imprisoned? Vasudeva and Devaki. By who? Kamsa. What is the nature of Kamsa? He was very afraid that the 8th son of Vasudeva and Devaki would kill him. So, Kamsa is our own inner ignorance, which we call as ahankara, our own inner ego. Our ego is always very protective. It is very afraid. If somebody insults, it immediately starts fighting. If somebody tries to snatch something from us, it immediately tries to protect. If I have the identity of an Indian, if somebody is burning Indian flag, it immediately wants to protect. Or if I am of a particular caste, if somebody is using some insulting words, then I immediately want to protect. So whatever I think I am is what ahankara is. We will be exploring this more. So Kamsa is a symbol of the ahankara. So when ahankara becomes prime in our life, then Vasudeva and Devaki are imprisoned. Who is Vasudeva? Vasati iti Vasudevaha. The one who resides inside is Vasudeva. And his power is Devaki. So the divine in us is Vasudeva. And the divine power that manifests through various actions in us is Devaki. They are imprisoned. Why? Because Kamsa is reigning now. Kamsa has taken the hold of us. So because Kamsa has taken hold of us, Vasudeva and Devaki are imprisoned. In the sense, they are not shining. The inner divine nature is not shining. You are by nature very divine. You are by nature very kind. You are by nature very compassionate. That is your true nature. Look at children, little children. They exhibit all these divine qualities naturally. Nobody teaches them to be kind. It naturally comes. I have a short video. Can I share that video?
Yes.
Just 1 minute. Just look at this video and then we will continue our discussion.
Eat them ever again.
Oh, do you?
Eat. I don't want to eat them ever again.
Oh, do you think so? What will you eat instead?
I will eat whatever there's on the table, but not chicken or meat.
Why do you think you don't want to do that?
Because they're animals and I like animals.
So what will we do if we miss eating chicken and meat?
I don't miss eating chicken and meat.
How about fish?
Fish?
Yeah.
Fish? Is it an animal?
Yeah.
I won't eat that either.
Oh my God. So what?
I won't eat animals.
Okay. So what do you want to eat? What kind of food do you want to eat?
Anything's on the table but not animals.
Why do you feel sorry for animals?
Because they're nice and I know that we cook them sometimes, which is not very nice, and I know we like to eat animals that we cook, but that's not nice for them.
Yeah. Do you think they suffer?
I think that they don't really like being cooked in the oven.
So you saw this video, you notice what is the question that were being asked? Why you don't want to eat? And what is the answer the child was giving? A very simple, innocent answer. Because they feel hurt. Do they suffer? The adult asked, do they suffer? What did the child say? They don't like being cooked in the oven. The little child has a very simple and a deep connection to everything. And that is your true nature. Remember, go back to your own childhood. Look at how children live life. Little children, by nature, get connected to everything very easily. In fact, little children, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, unless the adult world has already started giving a lot of gyan to them, they can talk to animals, they can speak to birds, they can speak to plants. Literally, they do. You might have also noticed little children. There is a dog which has laid puppies. Little children go and hold the puppy by the neck and carry. And the mother dog is usually okay. And even the puppy is okay with the little child handling the puppy or the small kitten like that. But if an adult goes near that puppy or the kitten, the mother dog or the cat wants to come and growl at you. So there is something very divine in a little child. There is something that is already there. And that is how each one of us, each one of you is. But what happens as we grow up in the life? As we grow up in the life, we start hearing stories. You know what you are, you know how you should be, you know who they are, you know how bad they are, you know how you should not be going to them, you know how you should not be talking to them like that. Be very careful of them. Be number one. Why are you letting the other person win? So like that, we get into a whole lot of competitive mindset. So the ego in us, the kamsa in us starts ruling our life. And when the kamsa in us starts ruling, the divine in us, see, the divine in that little baby is what made her speak the way she spoke. So the Vasudeva and the Devaki, they get imprisoned. They are in the jail. And the day of the birth of Krishna is the day of the realization that I am not all these stories that the society is giving to me. I am the divine self. I am not any of these stories that tell me to grab from somebody, to hurt somebody else. I am far more greater. And then is when Krishna is born. Where is Krishna being born in us? In our own intellect. When our intellect is governed by Kamsa, when our intellect is governed by Kamsa means ego. When we become ego-oriented, we become imprisoned, we suffer in life. So, prison means what? It is suffering. And Krishna taking birth is freedom. Means what? When we realize the jnana of Krishna, Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum, means what? When I give space to Krishna in my mind, when I let Krishna in me, when the Krishnatva in me comes out, the Krishna's power within me comes out, then how does it happen? Because Krishna is teaching us through Bhagavad Gita. So as I learn, as I realize, as I imbibe, as I practice the teaching, that is when Krishna is going to be born within each one of us. And that is the true significance of Krishna Janmashtami, or the birth of Krishna. So like that, when we look at the inner meaning, Adhyatmika, the inner significance is when these Puranas, these shlokas transform our life. They hold the power to transform our life. This is not a mere knowledge where I remember a shloka and I repeat. It is not a mere, I know this Dhyana Shloka-5, I know how to repeat. It's not a knowledge to remember. It is a power to transform each one of us from deep within. Towards what? Towards bringing our own Krishnatva. Towards realizing our own inner divinity, which you already are, which you know you are. It is just that it is masked by various conditioning of life. Kamsa, Chanura, they represent our ego and our attachment to all the worldly. Chanura is one of the fighter in Kamsa's Asthana. So whenever somebody would want to fight, they had to fight this Chanura, and it is said that nobody could win over Chanura. So very possessive, very possessive of my things. So Kamsa, ego, when ego starts dominating, it becomes possessive. It wants to dominate everything. It wants to quell everything. I am superior to everybody else. So when that takes a deep root, life becomes a hell. I may not know it's a hell. Definitely people around me know it's a hell. And I also suffer that because I'm constantly afraid. That's why I imprison Vasudeva and Devaki. Why do I have to imprison somebody? My teacher always tells the story of, there is this place called Kodes in Bangalore. And Kodes used to be a big brewery. And the owner Kodes was a rich man. And my teacher Acharya Vinay once went to meet this rich man. Because this Kodes, used to run many places. And Acharya Vinay wanted to do a class. And somebody told him, go to this Kodes. They can give you this place maybe for free. So I thought, okay, let me go and request, because I'm doing a class for the benefit of everybody. He may be able to give. So they said, okay, please go into this office. So he went into the office. There's nobody. There is one chair in the center of the room. And he was wondering, what is this, And he sat. As soon as he sat, some voice spoke. Hello, why are you here? He's looking all around. Then he sees there's a speaker.
Like Asiriri.
So this rich fellow was so afraid of what might happen to him that he could not meet somebody in person. Look what our ego does to us. We become a prisoner of our own ignorance. We have fear of somebody else. What they may do to us. What of mine can be lost. So the only way to come out of our own inner prison is to give place to Krishna's jnana. Thus, Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. How Jagadguru? We will realize as we go along. But for today, this may be sufficient. Any particular questions, or anybody wants to share anything? Raviji, anything that you want to share?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to ask, like, every religion says this, how are we different? I mean,
Excellent. So let's understand the difference between religion and spiritual and wisdom. So it is like this. Let's take the example of Christianity, just to make help understand what is religion. So what is Christianity? Yes. It is the followers of Christ. So was there Christianity before Christ? No. Christ, the ones who followed Christ, started following a certain pattern of practices, and it became Christianity. So there is a great master who realized something deep about life. And when you realize something so deep and wonderful about life, you cannot but help to share it with others. That is the nature of it. So he shared, and people who followed starting a certain way of living life, certain rituals. Now the ritual part is what we started calling as religion. So therefore, at a practice level, there are now so many religions. We tend to think of it as Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, so many isms. Jainism, Buddhism, hundreds of religions. And within those religions also there are sub-religions.
Yeah.
Because each one has a okay, this is the practice that we follow. This is our tradition. That is not our tradition. There is Shaivism, there is Vaishnavism, like that. So many isms. So therefore, what is religion? Religion is a set of practices which essentially, what is the focus of that religion? Very noble. Every religion has a very noble intention, which is to help you get connected to your own higher and inner, deeper, divine nature. What we keep calling as God, to help you realize God. That is the focus of any religion. But it is like, what has happened is, in the process, we've lost the focus on what the religion was meant to be, but we have gotten so attached to the practices part of it. I have a personal experience to share. We used to run a program for economically poorer students to help them with programming, who come from all these rural background. And for them to get into IT industry, we were running some program. And as part of that, and this we were doing as part of Sevak, Society for Establishing Vishwa as a Kutumba. And we had students from different places. And there was a particular student, and because of his particular religious faith, when we started telling him that it is a very good idea to close the eyes and to simply notice your breath. Just close the eyes and notice your breath. See how your breath is. He wouldn't do it. When we asked him, he said, again, I don't mean to demean anybody, because at the end of the day, a particular practice or what one teaches is an outcome of their own inner realization. So it is not a statement on any particular religion. He said, my father in the church has told me not to get into meditation. Meditation is a practice meant for Satan. So I was wonderstruck. You're always breathing, and why are you afraid of closing your eyes and watching your own breath? So you see, in the name of the religion, many a times these kinds of fear is instilled. So therefore, let's understand what is religion. This is one aspect of religion. So therefore, your question, Raviji, is, isn't it what all religion is teaching? When you look at the spirit of any religion, yes, absolutely. But is it in the process? Maybe, maybe not. So therefore, the spirit of any religion is spirit. It is the very word, it is the very root of spirituality. What is spirituality? The spirit. So the very spirit of religion is spirituality, which is to open up yourself to the inner and deeper dimension of life, your own divine nature. So at that foundational level, of course, there are no disputes. The same thing may be said in different ways. Ekam sat vipraha bhauda vadanti. Truth is one, but the known may say it in different ways. It is water, whether you call it as Tanni, or whether you call it as Niru, or whether you call it as Pani. Just because you call it as Pani, it doesn't become something else. So this is the way I would like to look at it, Raviji.
Vijayji, I would also like to add.
Yeah, please.
Got it.
Yeah, it is the way I also see it is like the truth has to be universal. Truth cannot change from place to place, people to people. Then it becomes a subjective. The truth has to be universal, which is applicable to all. And I see the religions as a different paths to going to the same truth. Now the point is, when people fight, it is basically you're trying to say that no, my path is the best path. You don't know other paths, so you cannot even comment on the other path. No, my path is the best path. Okay, you got your path, but are you able to use the path to realize the truth? If you're not, then like basically that was the point of every teacher, every guru, maybe Christ or like Muslims or Buddhist or Jainism. Every teacher realized that truth and they shared that, but then the followers basically held on to the trying to protect or like their identity and didn't reach the final point, right? The point, the real thing is to reach the end goal, what the teachers were giving.
If I interpret Kamsa as somebody outside and I want to kill him, then I'm constantly in battle with life. But what is the spirit of the matter? Kamsa is within me. So have I first of all learned to bring the Kamsa within me under control? Raviji, does this conversation clarify?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah. Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I think it's okay to follow any, but then like what I would like to see is like do they live by those principles and truth, and are those the whoever is following like do they show that they are like peaceful, happy and like kind at all times? Yeah, so if it is and it is for the one to experience it and to realize it. Like, if one is like not convinced, then like we should question and we should go and try to understand.
At the
Meenakshi?
end of the day,
Yeah, Shubhaji. Yeah, please.
at the end of the day, whatever we follow, if we don't make the change within ourselves and expect the whole world to change, that is where the problem comes. It's not what religion or what things we follow. So ultimately, we need to follow dharma, and the change has to happen inside, not outside.
Well said. Because who is battling life? Who is in the battle of life? Who's the one who's going through all these ups and downs? I. So who has to first become peaceful? I. Meenakshi ji, anything to share from your side? That's it.
Actually, he's also very quiet today.
Huh.
Usually he's the
Sorry, sir.
leader.
हाँ मीनाक्षी जी, anything to share?
No, sir. आज तो आपका words बहुत mesmerizing है.
Very true.
All right. Krishna sir.
I have one point of looking at the sloka was like we have to be we are the given the situation we have to act upon our destroying our own ego and so on, so like negative or I mean any given situation which is not good to anyone, you have to act like destroying them, as well as given the situation like we have to be very kind and good person, like how Krishna was like to his mother. So that's how now we are talking about Krishna and he's become a teacher of the world. That's how I see in that point of I saw that.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes, Shubhaji. So we can
Yeah.
end this contemplation and then do you want to introduce the next shloka and then we can
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably I will recite and
Yeah.
then we can go for the closing prayers.
Okay.
If there is anybody who wants to repeat after me, fine.
It'll be nice if yeah Meenakshi ji, yeah.
Yeah. Bhishma Drona Tata
Bhishma Drona Tata
Jayadrata
Jayadrata
Jala
Jala
Gandhara Nilotphala
Gandhara Nikilotpala
Gandhara Nilotphala
Gandhara Nilotpala
Shalya Grahavati
Shalya Grahavati
Kripena Vahani
Rupena Vahani
Karnena Velakula
Karnena Velakula
Ashwattama Vikarna
Ashwattama Vikarna
Ghora Makara
Ghora Makara
Duryodhana Vartini
Duryodhana Vartini
Sotirna
Sotirna
Kalu Pandavai
Kalu Pandavai
Rananadi
Rananadi
Kaivartakaha Keshavaha
Kaivartakaha Keshavaha.
Thank you, Meenakshi. I'll just recite one full once. Bhishma Drona Tata Jayadrata Jala गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवटी कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोतीर्न खलु पाण्डवै रणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः. This will be our Gita Dhyana Shloka for next class. We'll contemplate on this. Back to you.
Okay, we'll move to the last section, ending prayer. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from untruth, ignorance to truth, darkness to light, impermanence, death to permanence, immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om, Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. That is complete. This is complete. From completeness comes completeness. When completeness is removed from completeness, what remains is also complete. Om, peace, peace, peace. Nanu, nananbadu nanalla, ideha manabuddhi nanalla, Sachidananda Atma, Shivananu Nani, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm not the body, mind, intellect. I am Satchit Ananda Swarupi. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyakjyotihi, Parat Paraha, Jyotiva Jyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atma Jyotihi, Shivoshvaham. I am the supreme light of awareness, illuminating the outer world of objects, inner world of thoughts, and deep sleep state. I am the nature of auspiciousness, Shiva Surupi. Atma Darshanam, Brahma Darshanam, Brahma Darshanam, Satya Darshanam. Recognition of self is recognition of the whole. Recognition of the whole is the truth. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may we all be protected, may we all be nourished, may we work together, sharing our energies. May our intellect be sharpened, may we be friends forever. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhave. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may all be prosperous and happy. May all be free from illness. May all see what is uplifting. May no one suffer. May there be well-being in all. May there be peace in all. May there be completeness in all. May there be auspiciousness in all. Om, peace, peace, peace. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy, healthy, and peaceful. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you. Hari Om.
Thank you all. Hari Om.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari